My beloved child, in times of uncertainty when the world seems to be shifting and shaking, know this: God's promise to protect your family remains steadfast. His word is unshaken, His love unwavering, and His presence ever near. When fear whispers lies of danger and destruction, faith stands firm on the unchanging truth that God is our refuge and fortress. He surrounds His people with divine security, shielding them from harm and guiding them with His wisdom. The Lord has declared in His word that He is a strong tower. Those who run to Him find safety. This is not just a poetic expression, but a spiritual reality that believers can cling to in every season of life. When storms rage, both in the natural and the spiritual, God's protection stands as an unbreakable barrier around His children. His angels are commanded to guard, His Spirit is a shield, and His word is a weapon against the forces of darkness. No evil shall befall those who trust in Him, and no plague shall come near their dwelling. God's protection is not passive, it is active, vigilant, and intentional. He watches over your family when you are awake and when you sleep. His eyes never turn away, nor does His presence wane. Just as He led the Israelites through the wilderness with a pillar of cloud by day and fire by night, so too does He lead His people today. He goes before you, clearing the path, and stands behind you as a rear guard. There is no need to fear what tomorrow holds, for God holds tomorrow in His hands. The enemy may try to rise against your family, but the word of the Lord is clear: no weapon formed against you shall prosper. This means that though the enemy may plot and scheme, his efforts will come to nothing because God's protection nullifies every attack. When the enemy comes in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord will lift up a standard against him. This is your inheritance as a child of God. Your home is covered, your children are safe, and your future is secured in Christ Jesus. Faith in God's protection requires trust. It is easy to look at circumstances and be overwhelmed, but faith calls for a different perspective. Faith sees the unseen, believing in God's promises even when physical evidence suggests otherwise. When the disciples were caught in a storm, Jesus rebuked the winds and waves, bringing peace to their troubled hearts. Likewise, He speaks peace over your family, calming every storm and silencing every fear. The Lord's protection is not just about physical safety. It extends to emotional, mental, and spiritual security. He shields hearts from despair, minds from anxiety, and spirits from oppression. When the enemy seeks to sow discord, God brings unity. When the world promotes fear, God instills courage. When darkness tries to creep in, God's light shines even brighter, dispelling every shadow. Your prayers are powerful. When you declare God's promises over your family, you activate His divine protection. When you stand in faith, believing His word, you create a shield that the enemy cannot penetrate. Speak life over your household, decree God's faithfulness, and watch as He moves mightily on your behalf. He honors the prayers of the righteous and answers those who call upon Him. God's protection does not mean the absence of trials, but it does guarantee victory through them. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were thrown into the fiery furnace, yet not a hair on their heads was singed because God was with them. Daniel was cast into the lion's den, but the mouths of the lions were shut because of divine intervention. These stories serve as reminders that no matter what situations arise, God's protection is sure. As you go about your daily life, let this assurance fill your heart. Your family is under God's covering. His angels encamp around your home. His Spirit dwells within you, and His love encompasses you. You are not alone, and you are not unprotected. The same God who protected His people throughout history is the same God watching over your loved ones today. Lift up your head and walk in confidence. Speak boldly of His faithfulness. Rest in the knowledge that the Almighty is your family's shield and defense. He who neither sleeps nor slumbers is watching over you. No force of darkness can penetrate His protection, and no evil can overthrow His power. The battle is the Lord's, and the victory is already won. Your family is protected. This is God's promise, and His word never fails. Trust in Him, rest in His care, and move forward with unshakable faith. The Lord is your refuge, your stronghold, and your ever-present help in times of need. His goodness surrounds you, and His mercy follows you all the days of your life.